Hey, what's up everybody? This is Rob from Instinct Bassin. Welcome back to the channel. Hey, this video is going to be a real quick guide on what to look for when buying a fish finder in 2022. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing you want to look for when you're buying a fish finder in 2022 is traditional, or what they call 2D sonar. You can still do a lot with 2D sonar. It's going to be on any fish finder you typically purchase nowadays, but you still got to have it. It's one of the best things to use for drop shotting if you're going to be doing that kind of technique, because it is really the only one that's going to allow you to see your line and your lure going down in the water as you're fishing over a brush pile or something to that effect. You can still do it with other methods as well, but it's much harder to do it than it is using traditional or 2D sonar. So you definitely want to make sure the unit has this on it. In reality, any unit you buy nowadays should have this on it. Next is going to be what they call either down imaging, down scan, or ClearVu, depending on what brand you get. Down imaging is going to be Lowrance, down scan is going to be Humminbird, and ClearVu is going to be Garmin. And what down imaging or down scan or ClearVu is just a better representation of the 2D sonar that you saw on the previous screen, with a narrower field of view and a higher frequency, which allows you to get this better picture. But the drawback to it though is that since it is a narrower view, it's going to be much harder to do any type of vertical fishing, such as drop shotting or that effect, where you can actually see your line and lure go down in the water. Not to say that you can't still use it when doing those methods. You just may have a hard time seeing your line and your lure going down if that's something that you want to do. So make sure that the unit has down imaging or ClearVu or down scan. Whatever the unit is, it should have one of those features on it. Next is going to be side imaging, side scan, or SideVu. Again, side imaging is going to be Lowrance, side scan is going to be Humminbird, and SideVu is going to be Garmin. What SideVu allows you to do is see the widest field of view coming from typically the back of the boat, because that's where the transducer is going to be. But it gives you that top-down image and allows you to see left or right of the boat depending on what range you have that set to. It's the best way to cover a lot of water quickly, and then you can switch to the other methods to then narrow down what you're trying to look for. So definitely want to make sure that you have side imaging, side scan, or SideVu, depending on the brand again, on that fish finder if you're doing any kind of serious bass fishing or crappie fishing or that type of stuff. And next, one thing that I would definitely make sure that the unit has is some type of integrated maps and charts that have GPS data. And what I mean by this is that it has an actual chart on the unit. You know, there are some units that have all those other features, but then will only give you the GPS data. They won't give you an actual lake chart or lake map, or a coastal chart or coastal map, depending on where you're fishing. With that said, make sure you get the right one for that method of fishing that you're doing. More on that in other videos. But you know, nowadays most units should have some type of integrated map with contour lines, like you see on this one right here. This is a Humminbird one, a Lake Master map. So just make sure that make sure it has maps and charts with GPS data. That's going to allow you to find offshore structure. It's going to allow you to navigate around the lake or body of water, you know, safer, and allow you to get to, you know, certain spots, create waypoints, get back to where you're going, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So make sure it has integrated maps and charts with GPS data. And then finally, what I would also look for is you want it to have some type of forward-facing capability, forward-facing sonar capability. Now, most units, unless you pay a heavy price for them, they aren't going to come with a forward-facing transducer. But the units will still have the capability to show that on the screen once you do get that transducer. If you buy a unit that doesn't have this capability on it, then you won't be able to upgrade it later. So definitely make sure that it will be able to use this in the future if that's something that you want to do. Now, this isn't a, you have to have it, but it's a good thing to at least have the capability to do it should you decide to upgrade later and go that route. All right, so forward-facing sonar, and they're going to have different names to them. Garmin is going to be the Panoptix Live Scope. Humminbird is going to be Mega Live, and then Lowrance is going to be called Active Target. So you just want to make sure that whatever unit you buy has that capability on it, because some still don't nowadays. And then finally, this is the typical price range. I thought I would just throw this slide in here. This is kind of what you would be looking to pay for units depending on the size of the unit that have all of those capabilities in them. So the size of the unit is going to be the greatest determining factor in the price of the unit. So for instance, a 7-inch unit may start at $500 and go all the way to $600, whereas a 16-inch unit is going to cost you upwards of $4,500. So it just really depends on your budget, your price range, what you're looking for, and how much you want to spend, obviously. And always look for sales. The best time to buy a fish finder is going to be around Black Friday or around Christmas time or around Father's Day. So be sure to look for sales during those times, because you can typically find deals where the units are almost, half price even. So definitely be on the lookout for them. All right. And that's going to do it. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. Again, this is Rob from Instinct Bassin. Trust your gut, and I'll see you on the water.